Good afternoon, and welcome back to my channel. I'm starting again. This is episode 3 of Women Who Run with Wolves. If you haven't already, I encourage you to go back and maybe read the other 2 if you want. We're not going any particular order. Just kind of using it as bibliomancy, the way you would tarot oracle, and just reading whichever page. Just whichever page I turn to is the page I trust is what is needed. So yeah, just going to keep it short. Today I'm reading from the chapter Self-Preservation, Identifying Leg Traps. Oh, goodness. I have highlighted a few things. I landed on page 254, and I read a few pages ahead, and this is just kind of what I was led to share. So here we go. The shadow also, however, can contain the divine, the luscious, the beautiful, and powerful aspects of personhood. For women especially, being that are forbidden or given little support by her culture. At the bottom of the well of the psyches of too many women lies the visionary creator, it's an ant, the astute truth-teller, the far-seer, the one who can speak well of herself without degradation, who can face herself without cringing, who works to perfect her craft. The positive impulses in shadow for women in our culture most often revolve around permission for the creation of a handmade life. When a woman pretends to press her life down into a nice, tidy little package, all she accomplishes is spring-loading all of her vital energy down into the shadow. Fine, I'm fine, such a woman says. We look at her across the room or in the mirror. We know she is not fine. Then one day we hear she is taken up with a piccolo player and has run off to Tippecanoe to be a pool hall queen. And we wonder what happened, because we know she hates piccolo players and always wanted to live in the Orcas Islands, but not Tippecanoe, and she never before mentioned anything about pool halls. Like Hedda Gabler in Henrik Ibsen's play, the wildish woman can pretend to live an ordinary life while gritting her teeth, but there is always a price to pay. Hedda sneaks a passionate and dangerous life, playing games with an ex-lover and with death. Outwardly, she pretends to be content wearing bonnets and listening to her dry husband cavil about his dusty life. A woman can be outwardly polite, even cynical, but inwardly hemorrhaging. Or like Janis Joplin, a woman can try to comply until she can't stand it any longer, and then her creative nature, corroded and sickened by being forced into the shadow, erupts violently to rebel against the tenets of breeding in reckless ways that disregard one's gifts and one's very life. You can call it anything you like, but sneaking in a life because the real one is not given enough room to thrive is hard on a woman's vitality. Captured and starved, women sneak all kinds of things. They sneak unsanctioned books and music. They sneak friendships, sexual feelings, religious affiliation. They sneak fortuitive thinking, dreams of revolution. They sneak time away from their mates and families. They sneak a treasure into the house. They sneak their writing time, their thinking time, their soul time. They sneak a spirit into the bedroom, a poem before work. They sneak or skip or an embrace when no one's looking. To detour off this polarized path, a woman has to surrender to pretense. Sneaking a counterfeit soul life never works. It always blows out the sidewall when you're least expecting it. Then it's misery all around. It's better to get up, stand up, no matter how homemade your platform, and live the most you can, the best you can, and forego the sneaking counterfeits. Hold out for what has real meaning and health for you. Women with poor marriages do this. Women made to feel inferior do this. Women filled with shame, fearing punishment, ridicule, or humiliation do this. Instinct-injured women do this. Sneaking is good for a captured woman only if she sneaks the right thing, only if that thing leads to her liberation. You see, there is something in the wild soul that will not let us subsist forever on piecemeal intake. because in actuality it is impossible for the woman who strives for consciousness to sneak little sniffs of good air and then be content with no more. So this is my reading for today. Thank you for joining me.